Hello, and welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Meta, and his good friend, Subcon. Meta.
Hello, I am Subcon, and today's sponsor is sponsored by Blank.
And welcome back to the show. Wow, what a wonderful sponsor. Subcon, I'm really excited to have this podcast with you today because you're a very wonderful person to talk to. You have a very interesting mindset and outlook on life, and you're a generally quirky and unique individual. So today's topic is
The subconscious mind.
which is hence your nickname.
Yes,
Subcon.
yes. I go by Subcon because I realized how important the subconscious mind is. So call me Subcon.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
And you go to school for this?
I'm actually, yes, I'm in college, University of Phoenix, studying correctional support services, and it's learning about addictions and, how it can affect your subconscious mind. Subcon. Wouldn't you agree that 95% of who we are comes from your subconscious mind? I mean, think about it. When you wake up and you have a routine that you do every single day, you do it without thinking about it. It's just an action, it's a behavior, and it's emotions that come from the subconscious mind. And 95% of who we are is subconscious. It's something we have programmed repeatedly into our minds that it does it without thinking about it. For example, if I ask you to sing the ABCs, you will sing the ABCs without thinking about it. Your subconscious mind will just flow. But if I ask you something crazy like what is 35 times 95 or 98 or whatever, your mind might think, your conscious mind might kick in. So I realized how important your subconscious mind. And if your subconscious mind has bad programming, then you shall act with bad behaviors. The reason why people that live in their subconscious mind every day can be bad or good, it's one, they can enjoy their life for what it is and they don't bother them. And for those that want to change their lives, it's bad because they don't realize that it's subconscious. In order to change something, you have to change your behavior. And you have to also change your thought process. And it's really harder. It's easier said than done. What makes it hard for a subconscious person to perceive the world around them? Because 5% of who we are is conscious, 95% of who we are is subconscious. So you have to bring that 5% to recognize and bring it to its awareness that 95% of who you are is being self-controlled by your subconscious. And that's really hard to bring that full awareness to that 5%. It's because it's hard. It's like bringing all your attention to one brick when there's a million bricks around. It's really hard. But it's possible. It's possible. So, based on there was a study that was done by some PhD students out of the university. I can't quite remember what university it is. I can possibly put it up and show you. And it said the average human, 90 to 95% of their daily basis is subconscious.
When people are depressed, they kind of are in a hole,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're within their own self.
Mm-hmm.
Are they deeper within the subconscious mindset?
Yes. And I think that's the dangerous part about it. And that's why the depression.
What's dangerous?
That they are so deep into the subconscious mind. I think that's what makes it so serious because they call depression the silent killer. And that's part of being a subconscious. It's part of not being, it's not in your awareness how deeply you are in a depression because it's most likely subconscious. 5% of us can consciously say, hey, we're depressed, but 95% of our routine, of our behaviors, of our emotions, of how we see the world is from a depressive subconscious view.
Because it's subconscious, will it be easily recognizable?
No, it's not. That's the problem. So, because it is subconscious, it has to take for the individual to realize that they're depressed. It doesn't matter how many times someone can tell them, a professional can tell them, hey, your behaviors of, is you in a depression. And it takes for the individual to realize that they're in a depressive stage. Expert, help, it's always great, but it takes for the individual. The individual has to realize that there is something wrong, right? They have to realize. For me, when I was really depressed, believe it or not, it took for me to smoke some weed to realize that, oh shit, dude, like, you're depressed. Like, like they're telling you, but subconsciously I was so used to it that it was okay. But when I smoke, it's like my consciousness, my mind snapped from subconscious to consciousness, and I realized how much of a deep depression I was in.
Would you agree that sometimes like maybe friends can also help you?
Yes, I mean friends, but personally, I had a girlfriend the whole time, and I was so deep in a depression that not even my girlfriend could help me. I wasn't understanding what no one was saying. My therapist would tell me you're depressed. My psychiatrist would tell me you're depressed. My girlfriend, even my father would be like, hey, you're not coming out of your room. You don't have no interest. But even with them being all around, it was so deep, the depression, that they didn't help me get any awareness to it. It took for me to within to find that awareness that I was depressed. It takes time. So the first thing you need to do is realize that it's some hope, have something to look forward to. Because usually people that are depressed, they kind of like don't have nothing to look forward to. They always sleep. So I think having something to look forward to will help you get out of that depression, and understanding that it's going to get better. If you have that understanding and you have that hope, you will, hopefully, with that, you will get out of that depression. Those are the first steps, the first tools that you need to get out of that depression. When we cannot change something when we can't change something, it's always the best thing to do is change how we feel about it. If something can't be changed, we can change how we feel about it.
Like our perspective.
Yeah. Like we can change our perspective on viewing it if nothing can be changed, if the situation can be changed. Because you gotta ask yourself, right? You can sit there and be depressed over it, right? And see how far that depression will take you to enjoy your life and make your life worthwhile. Or you could realize, like, damn, this perspective that I have of it, the situation is not going to change, but I can change, the way I view the situation. I can change it and make the best out of it. I was very angry at myself. I was extremely angry at myself. I was beating myself every single day. I was beating myself, dude. I felt anger towards myself. I felt hate towards myself. I hated myself. These are emotions that come with depression. Depression is a silent killer. Your mind is powerful. And when your mind is in that stage of depression, it doesn't think logical, doesn't think straight. It's your mind going against you. Manifestation is huge, Bill. It's huge, And when people think manifestation is something that, they always look at the positive of it. I look at the negative as well. If, you're consistently thinking about suicide, think about it. If you're depressed and then you start thinking about suicide, and if your mind leads you to suicide, then you're, in my opinion, you manifested that. You kept thinking about suicide, and your mind, you start behaving suicidal. You stop losing interest. It's part of the depression as well. But you stop losing interest. You view the world differently. You start hating yourself. You feel heavy. Your brain feels heavy. But to me, that's kind of, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that people want to manifest being depressed, but what I'm saying is that if you think suicide, you shall have suicide, because that's just the way that I view the world. And it's the same thing with positivity. If you can find something that helps you escape this world, then in my opinion, and you can manifest anything. Subconscious and the manifestation plays a role together, because, for example, right, when we fuck up at something, right, and we always think a negative, we can say, when we fuck up at something, we could think, fuck, this is going like shit, I want to kill myself. Like, some people just jump straight to suicide. Like, they get rejected, they get depressed. Their subconscious mind just immediately put them at a depressive stage. But if you can, reroute that subconscious into positivity, and manifestation, like, what, this went wrong, but this is part of the process of where I'm going to, then you can reverse. That's how the manifestation and the subconscious work together. As you subconscious is you taking manifestation and programming it into your subconscious mind, and that's how they work together. A lot of people, for me, meditation is, just bringing myself fully present. It's kind of doing a self-assessment on myself, asking myself, I sit down, I plant my feet, I take real deep breaths, I listen to meditation music, and, you know, I ask myself what's going on. Like, I really sit there and ask myself what's going on. It's like I'm a self-therapist when I manifest, when I'm meditating. And if I have bad thoughts or sad suicidal thoughts, or if I have if the world looks great, I ask myself what is this causing the world to be great. And if it's something that I can't change, then I change my behavior towards it. I say, what, I cannot change this particular situation, but what I can change is the way that I feel about it. So I will sit there and meditate, and while I'm meditating, I'm trying to get into my subconscious mind as well, and realize which natural behaviors are you doing that you want to reroute. And it's just self-assessment. My meditation is self-assessment. It's a deep level of self-assessment. When I take trees, man, I always have. It's always it can be a good thing or a bad thing for me. Sometimes it's really good. I can slow. I mean, I feel like I'm out of this world. Like, literally, I feel like I'm completely out of this world in a good way. And then some days it triggers my mental health.
What's your favorite thing to do while you're high?
I like to shadow box. I realize how
Yeah.
much of a good fighter I am I realize how much of a good fighter I am. I look at some of my sparring videos and I'm like, damn, if you take this shit serious, you can possibly make it somewhere in this sport. So I like to shadow box. I don't like to lay down and sit around because my mind starts to go off. So I kind of like keeping myself occupied. When we depressed, sometimes we lose interest in our hobbies, and it's hard to get back into it. It's kind of like you gotta force yourself to do it at the beginning, but once you pass that stage of forcing yourself, you start enjoying it again. So yes, anything that brings you joy and happiness, you shall be doing. Man, walk, just getting out wherever your depression gets the biggest. So like, what I mean is, like, if you in your room and that's where you feel like the highest depressed you can possibly feel, then get out of that. Whatever place is making you the most depressed, try to get out of that and go walk. Meditate, do some push-ups, just do something else but sitting there. Well, I feel the highest, man, when I'm in the mountains worshiping God. That's when I'm the highest, man. I feel as if, oof, man, I feel like my energy can be touched. My spirit cannot be touched, man. I just feel untouchable, man. Like, nothing in this world can touch me. Not physically, but spiritually. Like, my soul can be touched. I just feel, man, I feel like an out of this universe experience, man. I feel great, man. When I get that deep connection, with the universe, with God, I just feel it's an amazing feeling. It's a beautiful natural high, and that's another thing. It's that's where I get my high from, right? Like, for example, right, um, people take cocaine to view the world a different world. I mean, view the world through a different lens, and get energized, and they get a high out of it. People take marijuana to get a high out of it, to view the world differently, to make themselves feel good. People take alcohol, people take all these drugs. For me, I know how to do it naturally, and it's such an amazing high. The energy in this universe, for me, the spirit, once you connect to that, it's such a beautiful high that you just feel untouchable. It's a great high. I think watching videos on YouTube, I was watching videos on YouTube, people speaking about it, talking about it, that well, no, actually, no. I think that it was a lot of guidance from God. I know that it was a lot of guidance from God. When I was really poor, I would run a lot, and I would just train my mind to think that I wasn't in the situation that I was in. I didn't let so I reprogrammed my subconscious mind to realize that, okay, just because you're here physically doesn't mean that emotionally you have to be here. And that was like the first step to realize how strong your subconscious mind is. As far as like the energy in the universe, I feel that there's an energy that's among us, that's all around us. For example, the trees, the fruits that come out of the trees produce, rice, everything that the universe, the earth produce for us ourselves. Um, I believe that there's an energy, and it really and we connect to that energy. I feel like it'll be a beautiful life. I'm not too sure if that's what you want me to talk about, um, but I feel like there's also a lot of distractions. Um, there's a lot of distractions, and I don't think the human realize how powerful they are. I don't think they realize, the human realize how powerful their mind is. Like your mind is the most powerful tool there is. I mean, like point blank, period. Like there's nothing past that. Like you are extremely powerful as an individual, and if you believe that, and you can get your mind under control and discipline your mind, you know, and heal your mind, understand when your mind is hurt, and understand when you yourself is hurting. If you can heal that, and bring your mind to the good place, within itself, there's for me, there's no limits. There's absolutely no limits. You know.
You want to talk about your story?
Yeah. So there's no limits, man. And what do you mean by like how I grew up and shit?
And then how you got out.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. So I was really poor in growing up. I was really poor. We was in a lot of shelters. You know, I grew up in a really messed up situation, where a lot of people thought I wasn't gonna make it out. To this day, people are surprised that I made it out. So it was a lot of different homes and homelessness since the age of like 15, 14. Never really had a stable roof. And I put God in my life, and after that everything started falling into track. But I think that it really started with me believing in myself as well. Like I really did believe in myself. I said that, I started, I just really believed in myself. I said I used to run a lot, man. When I was poor, I used to run a lot, and when I used to run, I used to like get out of the world that I was currently living in. It was a huge, kind of positive distraction. And when I was running, the hood, it was buildings, abandoned buildings. I didn't look at the abandoned buildings. When I seen those abandoned buildings, I thought of palm trees. I thought of mountains. I thought about a house. So I'm running in the hood, but my mind is thinking about something else. It's very interesting if you really do think about it. Because I'm running, if you look at me, I'm in the hood. But if you ask me where I'm at, I'll tell you, I'm not in the hood. I'm mentally somewhere else. And me practicing that so much manifested that life. Like I really live in the mountains, surrounded by mountains. I have palm trees, and I bought a house in the gated community where I can worship God in peace, and that's all I've ever asked for. And now, I tell my friends all the time, like, I honestly do believe that I will be rich very soon. And the reason why is, people ask me, what are you doing that's gonna get you to the rich? I said, I don't know. I just really do believe in myself. For example, when I was really poor and I was in those, shelters and in the hood, people ask me, what makes you think you're gonna make it out of here? And I said, I don't know. I just believe in myself, and I made it out. So self-belief and self-belief and manifestation, and believing in yourself can take you to very, very far places.
Okay, so I'd like to wrap it up with 3 questions.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Sure.
The first question is, what's one good thing about today?
One good thing about today is that you're alive and you have the power to sit down and heal and understand what's going on. Like, you have right now, currently. Tomorrow's not promised. So right now, what's good about today is that right now exists. Right now, you are here. And right now, you can make a difference within yourself.
What's one bad thing about today?
I don't think it's a bad thing about today. I think a bad thing is that's a subjective thing. Is how you view, is the kind of your opinion on what's bad. For me, there's nothing bad of today. Just the way I feel.
What's one thing you have for in hopes of tomorrow?
I hope for tomorrow that I keep making it through the days till December, because I'm really excited for December. That's when my house is gonna finish being built. But man, I don't know, man. I just live in the moment, bro. I think that I have my mind so under control that I don't really live I'm not anxious to live like, you know, for tomorrow or for the past. I'm just right here currently enjoying existence as exists right now. Because tomorrow is not promised. Right? So I'm enjoying right now. Depression doesn't allow you to do that. Depression makes you, you entertain the past a lot, or you repeat a lot of things that already has happened and you really cannot change at all. Like there's nothing you can do to change the past at all as we speak right now. But depression doesn't allow you to enjoy the present moment. And I learned that. But now I enjoy the present moment. I'm like, fuck you. You're not gonna tell me how to enjoy my life. And I'm in the current present moment right now as we speak.
Meta.